Let's get started. Good afternoon. Welcome to our meeting. Please silence your cell phones as Ashley Bacon comes up as our Rotarian of the day.
Hi, how are you doing? Say some prayers. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for every day. Lord, I'm not going to talk about politics. We are on a little soapbox there, but I just want to thank you for today and every day that comes. And may we all work together. We work together as a club, as a community, and as a country to do what's right. Do what's right in your eyes. I ask that you bless the hands that prepare this food, bless everyone that's here. And I ask this in your son's most precious heavenly name. Amen. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And before we attest to the things we think, say, or do, first,
Is it true?
Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
and fifth. Is it?
Thank you, Ashley. As you sit down, don't forget the blue buckets for Alzheimer's research. And we had a whopping $5 last week, so we need some matches. William, Jimmy, and Chris.
Stephanie.
Thank you. William, are there any prayer requests? William, do we have any prayer requests? Go ahead.
Everybody knows Nancy Brown. And that y'all know she's battling COVID right now. Her many others are to know, but please keep her in your prayers. She's having a rough time.
Thank you, Ashley. Okay, you'll find on your table a slip for Barry as a new member. So if you have anything to say about it, contact Jennifer. Any other announcements?
Excuse me. If they knew me, they wouldn't object. I may object.
Any other announcements? Okay. Aaron, you want to introduce our guests?
Today, I'd like to welcome Wendy Simpson. She's here with AirMedCareNetwork
AirMedCareNetwork,
area. Yes.
How many of you are familiar with us? I know that we have one that's very familiar with us, at least one. Heard his story right after I walked in the door. To tell you a little bit about us, when the owner of our company started us, it was pretty much a one-man operation. I mean, he had this idea when he got out of the military in a small town in Missouri. He went to farming. His next door neighbor was in a very serious accident. By the time the first responders got there and were able to get him transported back to a trauma center, he didn't make it. He decided at that time that rural areas needed assistance. They needed something to provide to get that support and that care that they needed. They needed to get that quicker. So we talked with some fellow first responders, and they actually bought an old Huey helicopter. And they started doing flights in rural areas in Missouri. At that point, neighbors started contributing to keep this one-man operation up and going. And from there, we've grown to a national and now global company. We have 15 aircraft in Georgia and over 320 across the United States. the mission of the company, again, is to provide access to those that don't have it next door. So if you go to Atlanta, you're not gonna find, we don't have an aircraft downtown Atlanta, we don't have one downtown Savannah, because they have trauma centers. They have that access really close to them. So that's why Milledgeville, Perry, Dublin, Vidalia, Statesboro, Douglas, Snellville, Calhoun, Blue Ridge. The locations of our aircraft are, I mean, they strategically place them in areas that they don't have access to trauma centers. The first 60 minutes after accident is the most crucial to get that 100% recovery, to have the most success. You need to have care within the first 60 minutes. We're activated by 911, so if you have a car accident, a boating accident, hunting, whatever it may be, the first responders are going to get to the scene. If anyone that's on Medicare Part B will pay up to 80%. So I just strongly encourage y'all to look over it, ask me any questions. The crew is here. They actually brought the helicopter. It's sitting out there on the fairway next to the putting green. So as long as they don't get a call and have to take off, y'all are welcome to go out and look at it and ask them any questions that you may have for them specifically. Before you leave. Yeah.
You said that you didn't, like, I bought this from out here several times. They don't need to have like a sticker or know that they have it. Find out.
So when our crew, when they get them to the hospital, I mean, of course, they're gonna get the identification as soon as they can from the scene of the accident or, in the scene of the accident, that's the one, I mean, they've got to identify the patient, get the information. Once they get them to the hospital and get them in the hands of the caregiver there, that's when they start digging to do more research, to get more information. At that point, it's all submitted to our corporate office, and then they're the ones who looks to see if they have a membership.
I was doing that day, like, if I
Yes.
forget that.
Yes, so let's say in the event that you're flown and that you're unconscious for some time and the bill comes in and your loved one's like, well, I gotta pay this bill. I mean, it's already been researched on our end. The other thing that we do, so if you have a membership with us, when we have a whole team in our corporate office that they deal with the insurance company. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about is any talks with the insurance company with them saying that they're not gonna pay or it's not covered. We have an internal team that does all of that. As far as having the sticker on your car, it is not required. Like I said, if you need to be flown, you'll be there. I mean, they call us. The sticker doesn't determine it. In the instance that the ground crew, and you can attest to this, I mean, with the fire department, EMS, I mean, if it's a situation where it can kind of go either way, it's like, you know what, I think they might be okay to go by ground. Because they're being, bill. If they know that you have the service, then there's a lot of different responders that'll say, you know what, let's just be on the safe side. So that is the benefit of having it there is in the instance of the teetering, make the color.
As we mentioned, as a first responder, we used to do that. Termination rate, you may face severity of the injuries. We call it the trauma center level of claim. It's making. We were out there with the information problem. Because if it's not that serious, you probably say, hey, thinking about crime. If it's serious enough,
You're
the trauma one level, so we would say,
Yes, sir.
Two questions. If you have a membership and it's getting ready to expire, do you let the member know?
Yes.
And the second question is, if you have a membership, do you extend the membership?
Yes and yes. So as long as, and we strongly encourage, if you move, we need to be on the list of the people that you update your address with. That way, when your membership is about to expire, you get that renewal notice. So we send those out about 90 days prior to the expiration. That way you have it. After it is expired, if it is completely expired, then we will call. Someone calls to let you know, hey, it's expired. Do you? So yes, so we do go through those processes to try to keep it active, so you're not have a lapse of coverage. And then as far as extending your membership, yes, you can do that as well. And you can do that if it's still active, or, once it's time for. Yes, sir.
it's household coverage, correct?
Correct. So the price that you see on that and when you open up the brochure, So and that's the thing, so when you open it up, it says $219. That $219 is coverage for the emergent coverage and the fly you home. I know right now there's not a lot of you traveling, or, I mean, COVID's kind of put a damper on that. But prior, or even so, how many of you travel outside of the state of Georgia? Okay, a lot. So if we have a coverage that's called Fly You Home as well. The Fly You Home coverage does is in the event that you're hospitalized 175 miles or more away from your home residence, and you want to be transferred back to a hospital in Georgia to get you back closer to your home, you as a member can call us and say, hey, I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, or I'm in North Dakota, I want to get back to Georgia, I want to get back closer home so my family can see me. That we actually, you're transported by a fixed wing aircraft, and it's medically equipped for whatever your condition is. We need to have a respiratory therapist, if we need to have occupational therapists, whatever, we make sure that the medical care is on there to get you back from that location. So again, that's a hospital-to-hospital inpatient transfer to get you back home. So it's not emergent, it's not because you need a higher level of care, it's because it's what you want to do. The other thing it does is in the event of a fatality, if someone contacts us and let us know, and we transport the body back to the county that you live in.
So it is household, as you said?
It is, yes. So the membership is per household. The rate on there that you see is per year or per the multiple years. So it's not per person and it's not per month. The other thing on that is if you have children in college that live in a dorm or an apartment, as long as you're still providing for them, they're full-time in college, they would still be covered under your membership. When they get out of college, they move back in with you, and none of y'all shoot me when I say this. If they move back in with you and live with you until they're 40, they're still covered under your membership. Once they establish their own household, then that is when they would require their own membership.
I was going to answer a question. I think
Yes,
you
ma'am.
answered it, the non-emergent reason.
Non-emergent, yes, that's the Fly You Home.
Fly you home.
Yes. So the price you see there, so you'll see,
Give me an example of that again, of what.
right. So if you're 175 miles or more away from home and you're hospitalized, you want to get back to Georgia.
It's your hospital.
You want to get, yes, you want to get back to your hospital or a hospital. Now, in that instance, so there are, I mean, like if it's a burn victim, if it's a burn patient, we're going straight to Augusta. I mean, no matter, you can beg and plead and ask to go somewhere else, but I mean, that's the closest one. That's where we're going to take you. If they don't have any rooms, if they don't have the availability, then we would go, to the next.
This could happen like if you're on vacation. So you're on vacation.
Right, if you're on vacation, yes. So if you're out snow skiing and you break your hip and you have to have surgery and you're
Right for that
hospitalized.
one, huh?
Yeah, so whatever reason you're hospitalized, it would be a hospital patient transfer. Yes, ma'am.
About out of country.
So we have an international program, and it is not in that brochure. I have some brochures that I can give you on that. With the international coverage, there's actually different options. So with this, I mean, you have to do at least a year is the minimum. With the international coverage, you can do like 14 days. You get to give us those dates. So if you know that you're going to be gone June 1st through June 14th, then you pay for those 2 weeks. And and you're covered. And same thing with that. If international, it'll get you back to the state with that coverage. There is a 30-day, with the international, you have to make sure that you have it 30 days prior to leaving. I tell everybody just to make sure you go ahead and purchase it 30 days prior when you're covered. Why I say that is you've been hospitalized for any event within 30 days prior to traveling, and then you're hospitalized for that exact same reason. So let's just say you had a heart attack and then you still decide you're going on vacation. You get to wherever you're at and you end up back in the hospital for a heart condition. Pre-existing. So that is that 30-day, there's a 30-day window.
So if you break a hip and have a heart attack.
Yes, and if you break your hip, and 6 months later you have a heart attack and you need to be flown in, then that's doable. So there's no maximum, when, especially with the emergent, there's no maximum.
Access international.
I have information that I can give you. Yes, I have information.
How much is the to be covered? Just a.
And honestly, this is something that they. 14 days for an individual is $115. 14 days for a family up to 5, $215.
That's throughout, let's say, Europe. Is it
I
through
can
website?
get, well, and I can give these to you.
So do they take you to a trauma center in the country you're in, or do they bring you back?
No, this is to get you back into the, this is to get you back here.
You still have to have.
What's the easiest way to check, make sure your membership's active?
I can check that for you. International. Okay, perfect. Yes, international. Give me those two. And that's for a raffle. Okay. Any other questions? In Georgia, we had. Yeah, I know, Dublin had, the Dublin area had, I think they ended up 340. I will tell you, that is one thing that we're, speaking of COVID, one thing that we're seeing is, with COVID, our flight times are a lot longer. Because we're, our local hospitals they're full. So we're having to fly a lot farther than typically we have to. I know that from the middle Georgia area, you had to transport to South Carolina, transport from Jacksonville to Tallahassee. There have been some longer flights than typical because of that with the facility. today. So every Yep, so on every flight, of course, you have your pilot. And today we have Mike. In Milledgeville, it's like where am I at today? We have nurse and paramedic, all three. Have all three. Previous experience before they're hired for the company. So they've either worked in an ER, ICU, CCU, high trauma, high volume facilities. Same with our medics, they have experience in a high volume majority of our pilots are prior military. And a lot of our nurses have military as well. We are very military.
Mike, so your AirCab, where'd you fly?
Wireless air cab. I actually flew the King Air airplane, especially modified to do some stuff. Because we were actually designated as cabin, so I could actually load it.
We have an online question. One of our members, they said that they were a member of JC's and they got a discount for being a member there. Does Rotary get a?
Rotary
discount?
does, and that was what it was, so when I said earlier, the $65.
Yeah.
So being a part of the, all chamber members and their employees get a discounted rate. So no matter your age, look at the senior rate, so it is the $65. So you have a minimum of $20 savings per year by being a member in the chamber. So do y'all have any specific questions? The pilot, do you have any specific questions for the nurse or medic? Okay.
How often does it happen you arrive on the scene of an accident, someplace plane? Well, I mean, I've landed where, or I've come to a scene and they want to put you, it's like, but with this area, all I gotta do is look, half a mile down the road, there's a parking lot, or there's no, but I'm gonna sit down there, they'll go get the ambulance, bring the person from the scene over to me. Over there, I can be really close, but sometimes I can't land right in the intersection. I will, I mean, it's gonna be a real time.
In almost every county around here, we have what we call PILAs, the pre-approved emergency landings. And I think 5 or 6 in Baldwin County. And we have these all plotted out. So these are just places all over the county that we've gone and scouted and said, yeah, this is a good coordinated fire department to make sure that we all know, okay, let's meet at this one because it's close to whatever needs to happen at that side of the county. There's plenty of areas we've already scouted and we're already caught.
Right, so, and with that, I know, like softball fields, football fields, any large open space, church parking lot, the some fire departments, if it's a large fire department. I know in the Sparta area, the east side of the lake, yes, there's designated landings over there. Some of those are small. Just curves.
But he's right there like anyway, because I don't remember now, so I'm thinking that in the section. Yeah. Push that traffic down the other way, and we went right down the middle. Yeah, most of the time. It's just rarely do I find. I mean, because we work close to the fire departments and all. They know how much area I need. Let's block it off. So it's very rarely that I'll come. For some reason, a lot of stuff happens at 441. So I'm very familiar with landings about everywhere.
Landed these like food catch.
Oh, yeah, I've done it. He's let me anytime. I love it.
You all are designated today, like to work a certain number of hours, like implement personnel facility. And then you also have people place you. So how many, teams, do you have for this area?
Four nurses for medic partner, and we work with.
Pilots are a little different, have to go by FAA rules. We work 7 days on, 7 days off, 12-hour days. So,
And we'll do 24 hours on every fourth day. So,
And then in the event if one of them are sick or one of them are out, then they try to fill the schedule. And a lot of times it's someone from another location, that could be dumb area, to fill in to try to get it.
Y'all have a brick and mortar building somewhere? Y'all just fly and work out of it?
Off of Brentwaters.
Oh, okay.
So yes, so if you see that red, white, and blue helicopter up there, if you see that flying, they're not going just on a joyride. So I tell them, if you see them up in the air, they're either on the way to a patient or they're on the way back from a patient.
How many helicopters do you have? Do you have one on standby all the time in case there's maintenance? Well, we just have that happen. The way the company does it is, like, every so many hours, we have to do maintenance on the air. So, they'll do, while they're doing maintenance on the aircraft, we have a spare that flies around to different places. And so, we have a spare aircraft. Like it looks just like ours. All the aircraft look just like all 100 bases. And they're all standardized the same. So it's really good when you get into any aircraft, they're all the same. Our aircraft had autopilot, touch screens, all the radios. It's a really nice helicopter. They didn't have those in the Army.
Right. So, Bell 206, I don't know if any of y'all are helicopter people, but Bell 206 or 407s, let area back have. So, red, white, and
So you all are at home base on Brentwaters Road. It's a calm day, nothing's really going on. That's where you're there.
Just like the fire.
Exactly.
Have these nice little radios, the tons will go off. I got 7 minutes being here.
and
Does
that's
it always sit running?
Yeah.
so it's their home away from. They live on their ship.
I'd like to just brag on the airport here for a second. Because during what we've done through COVID, it's been really, really tough for us. We've been flying like long legs. There's Tampa, a crew went to Tampa here, helicopter, it's not fun. Charleston, Nashville, all this stuff. It's been a really big challenge. What Bruce has done over there has been a godsend to our organization. And if y'all ever get a chance to say thank you to him, appreciate what he does. He comes out at 3 o'clock in the morning to us while we have a patient on has COVID, so that we can get out of the helicopter, take all our stuff off, and figure out how we're going to more fuel in the helicopter. Him and his guys have been unbelievable. Just something to think about. Good to see those guys around. Huge part of it. And I live here too. I don't know so many. What's been going on? Morale booster for me living. Us all kind of going.
Do you have any other questions for them?
I'd be interested to know how many people are been with already.
Well, I know that there's at least 2. How many are members? Okay. So, for those of you that are members, in those brochures you see that you have those referral forms. So talk to your friends sitting at your table, get them to sign up, and you can earn up to a year free membership by referrals. Any other questions?
I have a question.
One that especially depending on the data they have and the patients that they have, so they definitely have some data.
Almost just have a lead.
Where do you know that?
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you. So they are, real quick, did anybody want to go look at the helicopter real quick before they leave? Would that mess you up? Would that mess you up? They go. Is there anybody that wants to go look at it real quick before they take off?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, no, I'm still gonna be here. They got. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Put your tickets in for the raffle. Yes, so this is first for the raffle. I have.